Okay,
Kidding, right?
we're live, folks.
Are we
We
live?
are live.
Come on, come
We're
on.
on
Are we
YouTube.
really live? Are we really live? Are we?
We are definitely live.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Ah, that's beautiful.
We're,
So we are
we're
really
really
live.
live, man.
You guys might want to start talking about something because I don't think we're gonna hold. I don't think we're gonna hold too many people riveted to the edge of their seats like this.
Oh, man, you gotta
But
love
they
it.
might want to know how many times we're going to
We're
say we're
live.
live.
I was getting a little bit of the feedback, so I was getting confused. I had to turn the page off. Anyways, here we are. We're live. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, or not tuning in, but checking the live stream out. Tonight we're gonna just sort of preview. If you haven't caught any of the first two episodes of Nocturnal Night Shots over the past it's been
Yeah.
10 years, right? Give or take 10 years that these only two episodes have been out there, but I'm just I'm itching to do a third part, especially after watching the second one. And and I have to say, if you watch them, basically, uh, what Alex and I do is basically go to a location that has a history of being, I don't want to say haunted, but it has a history of some unusual phenomena, or dealing with a subject under the paranormal banner, if you will. May it be UFO, may it be crypto, whatever. And basically, one of the biggest influences, I'm going to point our good that our good friend Dr. Demon Gord is
As the
with us this
label
evening.
says.
And yes, as the label says, one of the main influences for me wanting to do this sort of a visual presentation of nocturnal frequency radio was back in the day when Gord was a part of a group called the Shadows Project, and they had an audio podcast that was really awesome, really amazing. I really enjoyed it, and the reason why it was because they brought you right into the investigation that they were involved with, and talk about atmospheric. And I want to ask you, Gord. I mean, what do you remember from doing and being in those investigations, and then all listening to the final product that you guys put out there? Like, to me, they were just really cool. They were very atmospheric.
And that's the way they were set out to be recorded. Basically, we just had someone in the group with audio equipment. Everybody else still kind of concentrated on what their job was supposed to be. And so it was just like carrying a microphone around as the investigation happens, step by step. So then anyone listening to it would be following, walking with us step by step. So if someone heard something, saw something, then the listener would get it right away rather than, you see on the TV where they see something, then they back the footage up and point you towards it. Ours was just literally live, like you're right there. TV. And then when you listen to the playback, if it was an intense investigation, then because it was done in that, I guess, first person format is what you could call it, then you would get re-involved going, oh, I remember that part. That part was trippy right there. Or I still can't figure out what happened there.
And now, that's, I mean, to me, trying to convey what you guys, or what we do as investigators, being in that element and sort of trying to convey it and share it with people that aren't there. Uh, I think that you guys did an amazing job by doing that. And that, I think that's what I was wanting to do with Nocturnal Night Shots with Alex, was sort of trying to, I guess, not necessarily doing it from an investigative standpoint, but I mean, having that element a part of it, but us being hosts of a radio show and sort of climbing into this sort of video blog, if you will, and bringing that sort of same atmosphere visually. And I think we were able to do it in more so in the second episode, Alex, because the first episode was basically based on a personal experience that I had. And for the most part, and then obviously we got into Frank and I really got into talking about UFO
And mutilations as well.
phenomena and all that kind of stuff, and cattle or human and cattle mutilations. But I mean, the second episode, we talked about the Tremaine house, and Gord, you've been in the Tremaine house. Finally, you were in the Tremaine house. What was it, last year or 2 years ago?
I think 2 years ago now.
Now, let me ask you, what was it like being in that? Because I mean, you've been in farmhouses before, obviously, and the farmhouse that you were in when you did that one podcast, and that I remember, and Alex and I were a part of one of the investigations. But I mean, what were your thoughts about the Tremaine house when you were there for the very first time?
I thought it was a very unique setup. Most of the farmhouses from that time period that I was in were very spacious.
Yeah.
And a lot of the hallways and things to be kind of narrow, so it kind of gave off a little bit of a weird vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember it being very cold inside that house.
Yeah. Well, we went. What was it? Late fall? Was it late fall or it was late fall, wasn't it? Or early
It
fall?
might have been, yeah.
Yeah, because I have a picture from that night, and I'm wearing like a toque and a winter coat. It was pretty chilly whenever we went.
Okay, so maybe it was late fall then.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Like we're talking about after Halloween, perhaps.
Perhaps, yeah.
I don't know. And Alex has had some incident. Well, some activity happening to him. The one time he was in there.
Yeah, it's that one. I don't know if it was a living room or dining room or whatever it was. I went in there, and it almost felt like when the old, a lot of people say this, when a spirit goes through you, you feel that sort of chill. That's what I felt when I was in that room. And it was kind of weird because I didn't feel it anywhere else in that house, only in that room. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think you tried to get a recording going in that room after that. I don't know if you caught anything or not, but that was the interesting part of that whole house was, I mean, aside from the whole atmosphere of the house, but going through that room and just sort of feeling something go through you and getting that sort of goosebumps all over you, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, it's I don't think we grabbed any audio samples from that. But I mean, when we actually went in and shot the footage for the episode, we did manage to get one EVP that was actually unintentional.
And as you can see, I got some
I should
mist
have
going
edited
on
the
around
scene
here too, right?
Yeah. Our camera, the guy who was doing camera that night was Grant, and when we were sort of talking, inside the house and talking about the house itself and da da da. Grant had heard something, and he pointed out, or he made it known that I just heard something. It sounded like laughing or whining behind me, and I'm like, really? And then when we went back and went over the audio, and in the episode, we play it for you. You can actually hear what sounds like this really really evil laughing or whining. It was really freaky. You know, I don't know. If,
I
I
don't
don't know if you
remember. I'm gonna have to
remember that,
review it
Alex.
again.
Yeah, it's actually really neat. Um, that house, EVP wise, has not been very. We haven't been very successful uh, gathering any sort of audio evidence out of that place. But we have been able to grab some, and one in particular we talked about. I think we talked about a couple, but the one in particular that we played in there was one evening when we were in there investigating and walking down. You know, I was walking like this has the house has a double staircase. You guys both know that, obviously. It's got a double staircase, and the front staircase going in, you know, leading down to the front doorway. I remember walking down there, and you know, all of a sudden you hear my name being called, and I'm like, what the, you know, well, what the hell was that sort of thing? And then when you review the audio, and again in the episode, you'll hear it because we secure it and sort of prop it up so you can hear it. You can actually hear somebody, you know, calling my name or saying my name as I'm going down the stairs. It's really freaky, you know,
Yeah, I would say it
really
would be
freaky,
freaky. Someone calling your name specifically, for sure.
you know. Well, yeah. I mean, it's like Gord, Gord.
Can I help you?
But I think Gord would
Gord.
frighten whatever was in there. No, what do you think, Gord?
No, you.
That is a
Yeah.
good possibility. Who's that fat guy? My ghost food. I'm a
Your ghost food. Your ghost food. Um, yeah. So I mean, it's been an interesting place. So I mean, it was great to actually get the second episode that we shot was in the Tremaine house, and after reviewing it, you know, I keep saying this, and you know, the time of the year, so on and so on. I would really like to shoot episode 3, but at the same time, while shooting episode 3, uh, I would like to have uh, you know, sort of bring uh, this live streaming sort of game, if you will, and by that I mean you know, sort of going through the experience that we had while shooting the episode itself, and possibly, you know, playing some evidence or something that might have happened during the filming, and maybe perhaps seeing how everything works out, having a live on location element to the show as well, and not necessarily being the location at hand all the time, but actually having somebody in a location that has a story behind it. You know, it may be obviously paranormal or down that road, so to speak. Um, I mean, I think that'd be really cool. Just to, you know, bring that sort of element into the viewership, and sort of giving those who have never been a part of that sort of environment a firsthand look into it, and sort of giving them that feeling that, Gord, that you guys did with your audio podcast, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, very much so. It generates more interest when someone can relate to the subject matter they're either listening to or they're watching. You know, if they can feel as a part of it, generally they'll get more involved into it and they'll enjoy it a lot more.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that that is something that we definitely look forward to sort of presenting when we do this sort of thing. We haven't decided yet exactly where the next sort of scenario is going to unfold. You know, obviously because of this
Yeah, that
COVID
kind of puts
thing,
a damper.
things things are limited in that sense, but not totally out of the question. I mean, it's not like we can't shoot somewhere, especially an exterior location. I mean, it's definitely doable, and we can certainly look into that as
We'll
things
just have to wear masks.
go along here. Well, yeah, on the on exterior, yeah. Actually, it might add to the atmosphere.
I'm
when
gonna
you
wear
think wearing
my
a mask.
Cradle of Filth mask. Hang on.
Your cradle.
Good. Oh,
I'm
he's
gonna show you
whip it
guys.
out.
Hold
He's
on.
gonna whip
Hold
it
on.
He's gonna whip it out. Yeah.
There it is.
Oh.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Where did you acquire
What's that?
this? Where did you acquire this?
Through their merch store.
Oh,
yeah.
very good. It's a shame only their first 4 albums are good.
What's that? The first album? Yeah. You know what? We'll get into that
First
another
4.
time.
Steve's like, I only listen to Black Sabbath and other stoner metal bands. I don't know what
here
the
we go. Here we go. Black Sabbath. Poor Black Sabbath. They're always harped on. Yeah, just think of it. If it wasn't Black Sabbath, if there was no Black Sabbath, how would the music scene be?
Oh, I agree, but why does all your music sound like them? Like,
It does just what I play for you.
Oh, thanks.
So, anyways, talking about the live on location element. We're thinking about, and we said that running a contest up until what? I think we said the last week of August, perhaps, maybe the last week of August, before we start the radio show up in September. We're thinking about giving away a T-shirt to somebody who may like to be a live on location guinea pig, if you will.
Guinea pig.
A guinea pig, yes. A guinea pig for the live shows, the live aspect of the show. And yeah, again, if you guys are interested, if somebody's listening is interested in possibly, look at, you need Skype on mobile or iPad or
And you have to
whatever.
have a good data plan, obviously.
Good data plan. You got to make sure you have a good data plan. And a location. A location that you perhaps know of, or it's easy to access for you, sort of thing. And we'll go from there. We'll arrange to have something on the go for that particular thing. Again, if you're interested, like to enter that contest, if you will, you can do so by contacting us or emailing us with all the information to nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com. Once again, that's nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com to let us know that you're interested in all the information on your location and all this kind of stuff, so we can go forward.
Yeah, and the one we choose will be the one who gets the T-shirt, I believe, right, Steve?
Gets the T-shirt. Yes, you get a free T-shirt, man. And again, if you go to our teespring.com web shop, you'll see we'll make it the double-sided, right? We'll give them the double-sided, right?
One. Unless they specifically ask for just if they only want the one, just the logo, that's different. But going like we'll have it as the double-sided as the standard, unless otherwise stated.
Otherwise stated, huh? Otherwise stated as what?
Saying that they want just the logo.
I know. I'm just kidding with you, man. Just kidding with you. Yeah. Okay. I've got a whole bunch of texts here from. Yeah.
Okay.
The text. Okay, yeah. So, anyways, well, let's play. You
It's up
want
to
to play
you.
now? Let's play now. Okay, so this is from episode 2, and this is sort of again like a kind of a tribute to a great good friend of ours that passed away, who did a little voiceover for the ending of episode 2, which was really cool. I really, I wrote a little thing up for him to voice over for us, and here's the clip. It's again Nocturnal Night Shots, episode 2, the House of Secrets, and the House with Secrets, and David.
It hides nestled among the century-old weeping willows, watching in its lonely state, waiting to share its story. The tragedy soaked within its hollow walls. Before this ancient and abandoned farmhouse is lost forever. Listen carefully as you walk down that old dark road to find what secrets it harbors.
And welcome back. So that was a clip from the end of episode 2. And we'll get the. I guess we should put the link to where you can watch the Nocturnal Night
Yeah, you might
Shots
want to do that.
episodes. Yeah, you might. I mean, I might. I'll have to do that in a sec here. But like I said, over the past 10 years, there's only been 2 episodes, and it's one of those things where we kept going, let's go and shoot this, and we kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and it hasn't happened yet. Part 3.
We've been talking about it, but
we've been talking about it. Even though part 2, you can see the fact that. Yeah, it's pretty choppy. I'm just watching it now.
The stream health right now is, for some reason, it's really bad.
Wonderful.
I guess there's more people online right now, chewing up the bandwidth.
Screw you all!
Fuck.
COVID.
Yeah. So, anyways, where was I? Anyways, the second part, you see, sort of like part 2 coming soon, sort of thing. That was only part 1. Yeah. We could shoot part 2, but I don't know if I want to go and do part 2 yet of that. Where I'd like to sort of part 3, I'd like to go and check something else out, I think.
Yeah.
And we should basically go, well, okay, let's think of some ideas here, and a location perhaps that we could sort of shoot this sort of thing, but not right now, obviously. And hey, Gord, you're more than welcome to join us, obviously, if you're interested in that sort of aspect.
Sure, that works for me. I'm always up for that.
So we'll have to figure out a location. I mean, if any of you guys have a suggestion, somewhere that we could shoot, probably, and we have some backstory on, I would say the German mill, but I don't even think that's still alive anymore. Um, and I don't think we can even park. Well, Gord, you were finally there too, weren't you?
Where?
The German mill.
I remember just parking on the street, but I haven't been down that area in forever, so I don't even know.
So you've been there though.
I went with you guys, I think.
Yeah. No, I remember you went the one time. Yeah, you can't even park there anymore. It just basically says no trespassing.
Oh, that's always fun.
But I don't understand. It's like the Trans Canada Trail. So I don't understand why you can't, like, there's no trespassing. I don't get it.
Is that
COVID.
just recently or?
Yeah. I mean, I drove by it just a couple weeks ago. And I was going to park on the side and go down and check it out, but I drove by. There's this big sign that says no trespassing. So I'm like,
Get it.
wonderful. Did somebody buy that plot of land and now you can't? I don't know. I guess there was a lot of issues with people parking there and going down there because there was the trail to get down there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering that perhaps that you can't get down there because of that. I don't know. That's pretty freaky shit. But whatever. You know, there is a few possibilities we could check out, and we'll talk about that obviously off camera. But yeah, again, part three. I think basically what's going to happen is similar to part two, and is sort of giving you that sort of firsthand experience of what it's like being in that environment. There's a lot of people that will watch, but they won't participate. They won't go into the location because they're chicken shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what do you say to people like that? Come on.
They're just missing out. You know, you really can't. But hey, if you miss out on something cool, you don't want to blame but yourself.
Wait a sec here. I forgot. Now, since we're talking about this, these creepy places, these creepy locations, and we talked about a farmhouse. I brought something here, just sort of a little sidebar, and I've got four of them here. Hold on a sec. The first one is called
Virgin Witch.
Now Gord's
He's intrigued.
Like, I gotta watch that movie.
No, it's
Here. What's it say
hard
there?
to see.
You gotta go this way, to the right. There we go. Witches are born with special powers. She was one of them. Blah blah blah. And it's on VHS. Oh.
I don't know if you've seen this one yet, Gord.
Okay, what do we got here?
The Prowler.
No, can't see nothing. Keep moving.
What?
I don't know. No.
Oh, come on.
I don't have nearly the knowledge you kids have.
And for all you Bigfoot fans.
Not the Bigfoot. Shriek of the Mutilated on VHS. Run down to your local Blockbuster to get this classic. When the air is still and the darkness silences the night, you will hear a piercing cry. Why am I watching this?
Oh, one more.
The night. What is that? Belong? Huh? Charlie.
The Night Brings Charlie. Yeah.
I have even heard of this.
Oh.
Am I missing out again?
Yeah, it's
called.
called. It's time for a horror fest in the backyard.
You got? Do you have
Agreed.
a projector?
Do this.
I've got a
Porta
porta
potty.
potty.
Even better.
Too.
That's where we remove the virginity from the witch.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah,
we'll bring hand
and
sanitizer.
masks.
Yeah.
Have you watched the one I told you about yet? Madman?
What?
What? Madman. Remember I told you that. Told you about that one.
Oh. Yeah,
The Friday the 13th ripoff.
Yeah, I think I have it. I've just never watched it.
What?
Listen. To be updated. I'm basically on Tubi every day.
You're basically on Tubi.
Yeah. I found they just have the tag along. I've
Yeah.
been excited to watch it forever.
You know what I noticed? What I found out, Tubi is a lot different than what I remember, and that's simply because Fox bought them out.
So in other words, they're owned by Disney.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
So yet again, something I enjoy is going to go
hopefully
to hell.
not.
Greg.
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to keep it the way it is because they show commercials, right?
True.
So I mean, Tubi's fine. I mean, do you use
I do,
Tubi?
yeah. I have it on my
Alex?
Roku.
Yeah. He has it on his Roku. You have
Yeah,
a
I got it.
Roku?
Yeah, but
I haven't had a Roku in years. I think I bought a Roku when they first came out, and Roku was just basically for podcasts and internet radio. And then they graduated to video.
yeah, I mean they
obviously.
have also you can also get Amazon Prime as a channel through it, and other channels. So I mean it's obviously a little bit more versatile now. And I even saw a commercial today. Actually, ironically, I think it was CTV also added a channel to Tubi as well. Not Tubi, sorry, Roku. And so I mean they're starting. I think they're really trying to really aggressively go forward with more channels because there's more and more people that are just cutting the cord when it comes to cable, right? So they're taking advantage of that and trying to add as many channels as possible.
Well, it is ridiculous. I mean, what you pay for cable, even still, when you get a deal, it's ridiculous. And I know I sidetracked everyone, but I don't know if any of you use
No.
Mobdro at all.
Yes.
Okay, so Gord knows what I'm talking about with Mobdro. It's another live TV and movie. They got movie channels and stuff like that, but they have live TV. That's another thing I've been using too. I've been I went back with I'm not going to say the name, and it's simply just to for internet and stuff like that. I just feel like cutting the cord altogether, man. It's just it's a pain in the butt for the money that you pay. It's a ripoff.
I haven't had TV in 12 years now.
So
All
what do
my streaming or using these programs like Tubi.
You do not have a TV at all.
Well, I have a TV. I mean, I don't.
You said I haven't had TV in 12 years.
Paid TV. There we go. Paid TV. Touche.
Yeah, and then Alex doesn't give a shit because he doesn't watch any TV.
I watched it for 5 minutes.
Wait
I
a
did,
second.
yeah. I was sadly disappointed.
Oh.
Yeah, let's not get
even
into
gonna
that.
Get into that.
But you gentlemen talk. I have to make a pit stop to the
make a pit stop
to the little boys' room. So you guys continue talking. I'll be back in a minute.
So okay, we'll make fun of Alex. So let me ask you, Gord. you know, being when you're with the Shadows Project and you're doing the podcast and all that, I mean, not so much the podcast aspect, but what did you enjoy the most about going out with the Shadows Project and what they were doing, sort of thing?
I enjoyed going ghost hunting with those people because they were all grounded and real. I get into a lot of trouble because, I don't believe in psychics or mediums or any of these fancy titled things. It was just a bunch of friends, and we go out to haunted locations to see what we could find. Everybody was grounded. We never expected stuff to happen. If it happened, great. If it didn't, oh well. We got our One of the things that we noticed is we took a lot of things that paranormal groups were doing that we frowned upon, and we removed it from the investigation. And like, for example, you'll even see it on TV. Hey, come over here. Do you see that? Right there's the power of suggestion. That's no good. So in the Shadows Project, what we basically did is eliminated that kind of talk. If you needed someone to come over, you'd snap your fingers or just say, hey, and say, come over here, and you'd say nothing.
Yeah.
So then there was no power of suggestion. They would just come over. They meant they were supposed to do something, and after about 10 minutes, you'd compare notes. So it wasn't just right away. It was very DIY, I guess you could call it. We did everything ourselves as just friends doing the paranormal research.
Yeah, and you have to have a solid group like that, I think, to survive. I mean, obviously, you have your downs. I mean, that comes with any group. Um, but if you have that sort of that vibe, things do work, things do click, and I know things did click with the Shadows Project. I mean, you guys had a lot going there for a while. You guys were doing a good job. Um, what are your thoughts? Like, I mean, you have all these channels. Like, again, going back to Mobdro, and I know Mobdro. You could just put on. They had these mindless channels where you just go on and they just be video people's like video cameras on a street or something, right? You can watch almost anything on that thing for a while. But what do you think of a 24/7, 365 um, channel on paranormal investigations?
Good Lord.
Right. That would probably be a good market.
I
Because if you want to use Mobdra as an example, there's a lot of channels you can pick on, particularly from the US market,
yeah.
where that's pretty much their channel lineup. This paranormal show, followed by this paranormal show, over and over again, and people just eat it up.
Yeah, and you try to get rid of the celebrity sort of aspect of things and the TV shows, but giving people like the actual sort of image of what investigating is all about. Because I mean, let's face it, when you see people have to realize it, and some do, not everybody does, but what you're seeing on TV is edited, 20 minutes to an hour or 30 minutes to an hour, uh, you know, edited down from footage of what, 6 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever. But just imagine giving them the unedited sort of version. Then you get to see the dullness of investigating on a majority part of the majority of the time, so to speak. But there are some elements or some locations that when you're investigating, it's a real trip. And I don't know if you would agree with that, Gord, but I mean, has there been areas that you've been to that you've investigated that, like, wow, like it's a constant trip?
Yes, but we can't get there anymore. There was a location There was an old cemetery, to put it basically, because it's best not to talk about it anymore because it just got trespassed way too much and now no one can go. But literally, only 2 to 3 investigations that the Shadows Project performed there, something freaky would happen. And by freaky, the reason I use that term is because no matter how hard we tried, we could not explain what happened. But it was our paranormal wonderland, this location, because strange things would happen on a semi-regular occurrence, and we were trying to study it and understand it, but a lot of the paranormal stuff that happened, we just couldn't explain it. And that's a real trip because humans for the most part are pretty grounded. They look for explanations in most things. So when you can't something happens and you can't explain it, your body just gets all confused and you don't know what to do. It's like a giant adrenaline rush when something happens. And eventually it can become an addiction where you want that. And I think that's the problem between what we do and what television encourages others to do.
Yeah,
What we do,
exactly. Yeah.
1 out of 3, 4 investigations, one thing might happen. Not every time you go on an investigation, solid things will happen continuously, nonstop, every time. And I think that's why, you know, things that are interactive for the audience, where nothing happens, but maybe you feel a little tension. We've all had that under investigation where you'll see something and you get pretty tense, like, am I onto something here? But then you'll analyze it, calm down, and then you realize it's just a shadow or whatever from there. But when you're listening to it or you're watching it, the audience is right there with you. They're like, well, what are they seeing? Can I see this? Maybe I can try to figure it out. It gets them involved rather than just mindlessly sitting watching a TV show waiting for something to happen.
How do you think? Okay, and screw the TV shows, but how do you think, or how would you envision the best way of conveying that to somebody visually?
Visually, you would just describe what you're seeing. It's hard to quote our podcast now because it's been so long. It'd be, for example, if the audio person was with me, I'd be like Gord entering into a bedroom, and then you kind of describe the bedroom. For me, podcast is kind of like an audio book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you want to do your best to the environment you're in. So the one we did was in a very old farmhouse. So, it'd be like Gord coming into a bedroom. Okay, I'm seeing things like there's decrepit wallpaper, the floor's dirty. Oh, there's a hole over there. Just so who's ever listening can form a mental image in their head of where I'm standing at that moment.
And that's exactly what you guys did. That's exactly what you guys did.
Yes.
Now,
investigation with someone, because prior to that, what we had done is we had written notes and posted them. So we wanted to take all that and amalgamate into something that the audience would have a better time and an easier time digesting rather than reading notes, because eventually you'll just lose attention anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now, visually, now think about this now, Gord. You've got control of the camera.
Yes.
You've got a camera guy with you. You've got control. You've got the converter, whatever. You're going into that same farmhouse. What is your first thing what is going to be your first thing that you're going to do, before going into this, into the farmhouse? What's the first thing you're going to do?
Generally, what I always did was try to relax as much as possible. Because let's face it, ghost hunting is exciting. So when you're arrive at a location, you're on adrenaline. You're like, I'm ready. But then you're too ready because you're on edge. And then rather than use a rational mind, like if you hear a twig snap or what, you're just going to jump to the wrong conclusion. So ours was always show up at the location, then take like a 5-10 minute break. Don't immediately go rushing into the location. If you smoked a cigarette, have a cigarette, drink some coffee. Just relax, get a feeling for this location that you're at. That too, that works, Alex. Well done.
Yeah.
That works every time.
But then, you're selective when you're going into your location.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking, Gord, is if you're going to do an episode visually, like a visual representation of a location that you've been in or you want to go into or whatever, this is what I'm asking. This is why I'm saying, hey, Gord, we want you to be a part of part 3.
I would still use descriptions.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
if I have a camera and I walk into, say, let's just use the same location. I walk into the bedroom. Rather now, instead of talking to a microphone, I would pan around the room and be like, oh, look at this over here. Oh, this is neat over here. Just so you give them a feel for the room. Right? So then the audience is with you going, okay, he's there. Okay, I've got this now. And they've kind of got their own. And then if something happens and you jump or whatever Patel may happen, then what should happen is the audience is already involved with you because you pretty much mapped out where you're standing at that particular moment.
Yeah.
So then if something happens, they'll be just as involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And this is something I would really like to do with part 3, Alex, is really involve the people who are watching. And that's why I think having the sort of the live aspect to it brings a little bit more into it. As opposed to the episode itself. It's one thing to final edit an episode, but to get people involved, I think would be even better, even more exciting. Because I don't know about you guys, like, do you get a rush going into some locations still? I mean,
if it's a new location, yes.
Granted, it's been a while. Yeah. Do you get a rush going into them, Gord?
I'm like Alex. New location, I'm literally a candy store because it's the unknown. What am I going to find? What am I going to see? Whereas a familiar location, you're like, oh, yeah.
Here we go again. Yeah, here we go again. Well, how about the first time that you were in the Spruce Lane farmhouse?
I was intrigued because it was somewhere I'd never been before. I didn't. Okay, we all know that I don't read your notes or anything prior.
Yeah.
I'm like, these guys really like this place, so let's see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then lo and behold, like we discussed previously on the podcast and whatnot, almost every time that I've been there, one thing has happened that we can't explain. So it's always a fun adventure, but I try now personally to adopt the attitude when I'm going there. Oh God, not again.
Yeah.
Round, I expect nothing. So then, if something does happen, I'm not like, oh my God, what's happening?
I would love to see that happen, Gord.
So well, let me ask you. Okay, well, going on with that still. I mean, overall, what are your thoughts on the time that you spent there?
It's a very intriguing, and I'm okay with using the word paranormal location because of the things that I've personally experienced there. We've all tried, the entire group, Alex, other people showing up. We have sat there and went over notes and notes and notes and notes, and still the couple of things that I'm talking about we can't explain. To this day, we can't explain it.
Mm. I think well, I mean, there's two things where you and one thing where you and Alex are involved, and even Richard Palmisano, who came in the one time, the stairway, and the fact that you two got sick in the same area without even knowing that the fact between each other, and Richard not even knowing that, and getting weird instrument readings from that particular area. That didn't
Yes.
make any that didn't make any sense. But what really intrigues me is the fact that when you and Mars were upstairs and you had that sort of event unfold, that to me is intriguing because we got some visual. I don't want to say evidence, but some visual anomaly happening at the time almost when you guys were having that sort of event
Yes.
unfold.
And that's what I mean. There's stuff that you go, well, maybe it's no, and then somebody else will go, well, what about this? And you go, and when you rattle through everything and you still can't come up for an explanation, be it this incident we're talking about or other people across the world doing investigations, when you've thrown everything at it and you still can't explain it, that is the best feeling for a paranormal investigator
Yeah,
because it is
absolutely. Yeah, it
paranormal.
is.
It's explained.
Well, you know, I thought I seen it all with the Spruce Lane farmhouse, but I go, I'm going to sit down and go through footage, and I'm going to re-edit um, a new Chasing Shadows Part 2. I'm going to edit that, and I'm going through some of the old footage taken from the first time we were in there. I think it was like the very first time we were in the Spruce Lane farmhouse, which was in 2009. Um, and Mike, who had a camera, um, just going through the house by himself, top floor, all by himself, nobody with him. There was absolutely nobody in the house, and he's just documenting the hallway and the paintings, and then all of a sudden, he homes in on this painting of a little girl in period dress, and then all of a sudden you hear what sounds like a little girl singing. It just blew my mind. I don't think I've ever seen or heard anything like that before in my life.
No, that, and I think it was the first time I was there with you guys when
Yeah,
you and I were sitting in the back corner by the bedroom, and
yeah,
it literally sounded like someone smacked their hand out the hardwood floor right
yeah,
next to it.
exactly. There has been audio wise, the place is just like it's on fire. Like, I mean, it constantly, every time we've gone in there, there has there's always been at least one audio bit that just, wow, okay, what the hell.
Yeah.
And there's no way to explain. I mean, there was visually one night we were in there. And again, I don't want to say it's evidence. I'm not going to say it's evidence, but an experience that unfolded just, I, with my own eyes, not only me, because I thought I was seeing things but somebody else had pointed it out at the same time. And I'm like, what? Okay, so I'm not crazy. I am seeing something here because somebody else is seeing it. So,
Validation is always exciting.
yeah,
Hey, I'm seeing this. My God, I'm seeing it too. Wait, what do you mean? What? I'm not hallucinating?
yeah.
We had one night, I think I told you about it before, Shadows Project. There was four of us
Mhm.
standing side by side, witnessed an event together, all looking at each other like we're hallucinating, but we're all seeing the same thing. That it's an exhilarating feeling.
It is. It is. It's an amazing feeling, and that's the sort of thing I want to convey for part 3.
And location is obviously key.
The location is key, and I want to make this into a investigative sort of aspect, if you will. But I don't want to do a full-fledged investigation because that's just too much right now. But I just want to give us a somewhat respectable investigation, Gord, and that's why I want you to be a part of this part 3. I'd like to have you a part of this.
So there's going to be demons.
Huh?
There's going to be demons.
If there's demons involved,
Well,
you're there.
I'm there.
I'll make sure I call them up for you. How's that?
Good. Thumbs up.
You could call them up, but you can't be on location.
That's
right.
right.
Scare
I'll
them
do
off.
it remotely. How's that?
Remotely, there you go. We'll get them the remote. We'll get them the remote view of the place, right? I mean, let's try to home in on a location. As it stands right now, we can film. I mean, we can be responsible enough to do this. I mean, that's not an issue. If there's just the 3 of us and maybe a camera guy, somebody working camera. I think that's. I mean, are you guys okay with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We get social distance.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
just the thing. I mean, as long as we keep apart, I don't think there'll be an issue.
So, okay, what do you say? What do you say? And folks, you're hearing this the very first time live.
It's live
on the preview for Nocturnal Night Shots, part 3. Let's think. Let's hammer this out for mid-September, mid to late September.
Sounds good.
Okay.
How's that sound to you guys?
I'm working with that.
I'm
good with that.
So am I. I should hopefully be a lot cooler by then.
Well, a lot cooler. Hopefully things will be a lot better COVID-wise. But I mean, yeah, we'll take this time to try to figure out a location, even if it's exterior. I mean, interior even better, but exterior. And let's run with it. Let's sort of figure out what we're going to do with it, and we'll piece it together. Put Nocturnal Night Shots 3. As long as we have a story behind this, right, guys? We got to make sure that there's a story for the reasoning for us being there to investigate this sort of thing. I mean, there's no sense in going to a location just simply because it's creepy, right? I mean, we want to make sure there's a story behind this. So, I mean, just an example, the DQ house. Why you don't think deer would make for good evidence?
Well, you never know. Plus, there's the Triangle Rock. Don't forget the Triangle Rock.
That too. I just remember last time we were all there together, the run-in with the deer. I don't know if you're the paranormal deer. We were there, yeah, because we were there. Because weren't we doing the Morning Star?
No, we never went to the Morning Star. I think that was the night we tried to do multiple locations. I think that's the night we did 3 locations in one night.
Yeah, the Morning Star was a different night. Sorry, yeah, that's. I remember the Morning Star was a different night that we did. That's it.
House, somewhere else I can't remember, and then we finished at that cemetery, which I keep forgetting about. That's such an amazing location. The only problem is traffic noise.
Which cemetery again?
By the current canal.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's yeah. I don't think we made it that far. I think we only did with us. did the DQ house with you guys. I think you guys we parted ways, and then you guys went to the cemetery afterwards, right?
That is possible.
I think
It
that's
was many years ago.
So yeah, let's brainstorm. Let's think of a location, and let's do this. Say mid-September, to late September, or hopefully mid-September. We'll see, weather permitting, depending on the location, and we'll get the equipment all set up to do this.
Yeah,
dudes.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'd really like to do this, and then we'll have part 3 in the can. Maybe a week or two after that, as long as I have all the footage in hand. Give me about a week and a half to shoot it. I mean, edit it. Excuse me, and figure out the rest of the post production. And she'll be ready, and then we can do another live stream for Nocturnal Night Shots Part 3.
Yeah. And we could separate the on our channel. There's a way of doing playlists. So we have our Nocturnal Frequency Radio show separate from the Nocturnal Night Shots.
Yeah.
That way it doesn't sort of get all jumbled up and people get confused as to what we're doing, right? So at some point when we have enough material, I'll separate them, and going forward, anything we do for Nocturnal Night Shots will be on the one playlist, and the show will be on the other playlist.
There we go. Easy enough. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it because I know you guys both are pretty much the same way. It's that time of the year. Well, it's getting close to that time of the year. It's definitely getting close to that
time of the year.
I can feel it. I'm starting to feel it now. I don't know about you, Gord. I know I'm feeling it now. That the fall, the best time of the year, man.
Agreed.
What's that?
Ooh, right around the corner.
Right around the corner. I can start feeling it now, man. I definitely look forward to this time of the year, and I think
today's weather helped too.
Well, today was shitty out there, but it was still pretty. It's still
not for you guys, not for me.
What?
You guys got worse weather than I did down here.
Oh, you didn't get any rain.
Very, very little.
Wow.
Yeah,
it poured here. It poured. Not for long. That's what I wanted to point out. Random not thought. Random not thought. Gord is trying not to Did you guys see the fact that how popular it's become now?
There was that
right?
one news clip that they showed of these kids were doing just that, and they stumbled upon a suitcase that had human remains in it.
Exactly. Did you hear about that, Gord?
I heard the headline. I didn't read the actual article though.
Yeah. They stumbled. It took them to a location that had. Holy crap! It had.
We must be boring him.
In bed. I know.
There was dead bodies.
A suitcase that had human remains in it, and it was funny. I was watching an interview with one of the Randonaut creators. He's like, we certainly didn't create this, but holy crap. I've done it a couple times with the app, but I certainly won't continue doing it with the app because you got to pay.
You have to pay.
It's ridiculous. So I just continue to do a Telegraph.
Which I think is kind of stupid if you think about it. I mean, I'd rather them have ads on the app
No.
than having, basically force people to pay in order to continue using it after so many times.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't force people to. It's a neat idea. It's cool. It's nostalgic. And you do find places. You do find interesting places. I have found interesting places with this thing. And I get the idea behind it. It's just basically guiding you in areas that you would normally not, go to. You would normally pass, maybe pass on a daily basis. Like, I mean, one of the last locations that I went to was at Treehouse with the river around it. And I mean, I don't know how many times I've walked by that without even noticing it. And then here's this app that, leads me right to it. I'm like, wow, this is pretty neat. This has been here for how long? And I've never noticed it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I grant you that they're not all.
No,
great.
mine usually ends up being in someone's backyard.
Well, there's a lot of that, but I've noticed now with the new update that if you pass, I mean, if you pick anomaly, it's neat.
Yeah.
They'll go, think of your intent, your original intent. I'm looking for demons. But I mean, it's pretty neat that pretty like a couple times that I've used it since they've updated it. I use anomaly, the ACU, and then I go anomaly, then I go the ACU, and it's led me to a couple interesting locations. So.
Yeah, I'll have to try it. I want to wait until the weather gets a bit better, like a bit cooler, and then,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I mean, I figured I'd give it a test run to see what it would do, and it's been pretty cool. But yeah, I'm waiting for the cooler weather. For the
Gord, we're boring him again, man.
That ticks, the ticks to go,
that too.
away. I've already had a couple of them on me, so yeah, so that's cool. I think that's
before
it, guys.
we go, let's tell people about the merch store.
The merch store, and we have. Did we decide on the official launch of Nocturnal Frequency Radio season 13?
Not yet.
What do we say?
I think
September
it was around
13th?
there, yeah.
Oh. Okay. So the official launch is going to be September 13th for the radio show. The contest again. If you guys, we're looking for live on location people for the live aspect of the show. By this, you need to have Skype availability, either on mobile, iPad, or whatever. A location that you could find, that you could go to, that has a backstory to it. And there's more details, but I mean, those are the basic details. If you are interested, drop us a line at nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com, and your entry could win you a free T-shirt, one of our T-shirts
With the quote in the back.
and with the quote, the double-sided T-shirt. And to view those, just go to our teespring.com web shop. Can they just type in Nocturnal Frequency
I've tried
Radio in the
doing
search?
that and it doesn't come
up?
up, so I'm going to give them the URL. It's teespring.com /stores /nocturnal-frequency-radio. That'll take you to our store, and you'll see all the merch that we have there. We have 2 t-shirt selections, one with just the logo and one with the logo and the quote on the back. You'll have the mug, which has also the quote on the back. You have a hoodie and our mask. You gotta stay safe, so grab a mask while you can.
Stay safe. And if to keep up, subscribe to our YouTube channel
sure.
here. Subscribe to it, and also go to the our Facebook group to keep up to date, because I mean that's basically where we're most active on our Facebook group, which is www.facebook.com/Nocturnal Frequency Radio, or type in Nocturnal Frequency Radio in the search box and you'll find us that way as well. And like the page, follow the page, and you will be constantly updated with what is going on with this, with Nocturnal Frequency Radio, any guests, any topics, whatever. If you have any suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. We absolutely would love to hear from you guys about what you'd love to hear on the radio show and more. So once again, that is www.facebook.com/Nocturnal Frequency Radio. You can follow us on Twitter as well at Dark Discussions, and Instagram. God, I know everybody's on Instagram. You can find our page at Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Easy. Type it in the search box and you'll find us. Wow. Until September 13th.
Yep. September 13th.
We'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Thank you for tuning in or checking us out this afternoon or this afternoon, and look forward to Nocturnal Night Shots 3 coming very, very soon, hopefully in September. So don't, like I said, keep up to date, go to our Facebook group to keep up to date with that and more with everything. Yeah.
Have a good night,
everyone.
Have a good one.